Hello everybody, this is Adrian on Tuesday the 21st of April 2026, and I thought I'd just do a video on some of the avocado grafts that I've been undertaking over the last few months, and show you some of the successes and some of the failures for that matter. So back in, I'm trying to remember when it was now, 8th of the 2nd, so the 8th of February, I managed to get some scions from the large Hass avocado tree in London, and I grafted quite a few of those onto my main tree, and I also grafted some onto some seedlings. I didn't have many seedlings, unfortunately. It was an opportunistic collection of scions, not something that I'd planned, so I didn't have as many seedlings as I would have liked. But anyway, so this is one of the grafts, and as you can see, it's done absolutely nothing. It's probably dehydrated and probably dead. I haven't pulled it out yet, but this is probably what I would consider to be a failed graft. Although you can see the main tree has recovered significantly around the cut end of the branch and is now flushing out lots of new growth. So nothing really lost there. Would have been nice to have a bit of London avocado on this piece here, but I haven't. But if I go round a little bit, look at this graft here. This one was done at the same time. Let me just move some of this other foliage around. So all of these London grafts are done at the same time, all using the same method, which is a cleft grafting method. You can see this one now is flushing out some new growth. I have to say that you can't really see it. I can't really get the camera out at a good angle, but the grafting union only seems to be connected on one side, which isn't ideal. So whether or not that survives, we'll have to wait and see. Only time will tell. Some of the other grafts, I got some very, very small bits of Pinkerton from Brett. Thank you for that. There were bits that he'd left over after he'd done some grafting, so I don't blame him for this, but they probably weren't his best bits. I mean, I certainly, when I send out any scions that I've got left over, they're not my best bits that I send out. But anyway, this is a piece of Pinkerton that Brett sent me. It's still green. I did pick back some of the tape a few days ago and just scratched the bark, and it's very green and moist underneath. So there's no signs of any buds. There was no bud union joints, if you like, on this piece when I put it in here, but it is green. It is hydrated. So you just never know with avocados. This could sit here for months and months and then suddenly flush out a piece of growth. So not all is not lost with this little bit of Pinkerton just yet. Now, if you've been following some of my other videos, you'll know that I had an in-ground reed avocado, which suddenly its root system completely collapsed, and it died over the winter. And so I tried to grab the few little green pieces of it that I could to see if I could graft those and save the reed. So down here, there's one of the bits of reed. It's still green. The graft union is, well, greenish. It's certainly not all black and dead yet. The little bit on the top there that's black, that was black when I put it on there. I probably should have snipped that off really. So that little bit of reed is still green. I don't hold out a lot of hope that that's going to suddenly burst into life, but you never know. And then round here, let me put my hand behind this because it's quite busy around here. There's a tiniest little piece of reed here, probably no more than 20 centimeters long, but it did have a little bud on the top of it when I grafted it, and it's in a very, very fresh new piece of growth from my main tree. So good, good nutrient and water supply up this particular branch. It's still green, hasn't flushed out any growth, When did I do these? I've done these the week before the London grafts. So you'll see that some of the London grafts have got new growth and these reeds have not. But that could be because the main tree was in such a lot of stress when I took these little pieces off it that they're going to take a little bit longer to get going. We'll wait and see. Up here, let me put my hands behind here, another little piece of London, not showing anything, not dead, but not showing anything. If we go around the other side of the tree, we have a little bit more success around this side. I'm not sure if that's because this side gets more light than the other side, but it's definitely different. So can I try and get it all in frame? Yeah, just about. So there you go. Slightly longer scion on this side. Let me just come around to this angle. Go and focus. And as you can see, we've got some nice new growth flushing out on this one. And then if I go up here, again, this is a piece from the London avocado. This is flushing out new leaves, and it's also trying to flush out flowers. I might pick those off actually. Again, this scion was definitely only attached on one side of the grafting union. What happened was, as the grafting union expanded quite early on in the process and then split the tape, and then that lost some of the pressure on the grafting union joint, and one side of the union sort of peeled away a little bit. I have put a little plastic strap around it just to see if I can get them both to fuse again, but I suspect what will happen is when this recovers, if it does recover, is that one side of that union will just go black and drop off. It'll be a bit of an ugly fuse, but as long as it takes, then that's all well and good. Now, some of the other ones. On Facebook, a chap called Ken up in North America released a link to a video using micrografting techniques. So I thought I'd give that a go. So let me just take this tube off of here. So this is a graft from my own. This is a graft from this tree, but from a flowering section of this tree. The flowering section of the tree further up is too top heavy, so I've been trimming it back a little bit, and I've been using these kind of micro grafting, if you can see it there, like a splice graft process using these silicone sleeves. And I have to say that when you push these two joints together, they really, really push together tightly. I'm very impressed actually at the quality of the seal that you get and of the union. Now it does rely on the scion and the branch to which you tend to graft to be very, very equally matched in terms of circumference and also in terms of shape. I'm sure some of you that have been grafting avocados for long enough will know that sometimes avocado branches can be a little bit oval in shape, so you do need to have the right shape and the right circumference. But this has only been done, I didn't put a label on it, it's only been done a few weeks ago, and it does look in very good condition. I'll just pan out a little bit, and then if I show you some of the others, this one, again, this is from my own in-ground tree here in the greenhouse that I've spliced onto a seedling, 12th of the 4th. Today is the 21st of the 4th, so 9 days ago. Check this out. How insane is that? 9 days. Splice joint using a silicone sleeve. Look at all that growth and a flower bud. Absolutely crazy. I couldn't be happier with that. That's really, really cool. I've done another one down here. This was about a month ago, or perhaps a bit less than a month ago, 24th of the 3rd. This one isn't doing quite so well, but it's doing okay. Again, this is a really tiny one. I mean, you can see by my little finger here how small this was. Really, really tiny. If I come around the side here, Max, can I come around the side? Yeah, you can see the little splice graft in there. and this is now beginning to push out new buds, just starting now to push out some new growth on the top. So this is brilliant. This is my way of propagating my own tree. See if I can't get a few propagated seedlings on the go. If I move down, this is going back to the London. This is on a little seedling. This has taken quite some time to get going, but get going it has. And then next door is another London. I need to pick off those little side shoots, but I won't do that until I've got complete confidence that this top shoot is alive and going to go. It's just starting. I don't know if you can see it there. Excuse the tortoise in the background. Just starting to develop some little buds there, and at the top it's starting to develop a flower bud, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so at the end of this I may have 2 London seedlings and a few on my main tree, but you know, this is a London graft. It failed. Over here there's another London graft. It failed. You know, they do that from time to time. Inside that plastic bag, I'm not going to take the bag off, but there's a London graft which may or may not take. We'll have to wait and see. But for me, the success rate on, oh hang on, there's another one here. Yeah, this is another London graft. This is a big old chunk of scion wood. Probably shouldn't have done this really, because I ended up taking the top out of a really quite nice tree, and it hasn't really done anything at all. But all is not lost, because if this scion here doesn't take, then this tree here, you can see it's beginning to flush out new growth at the side. Will just create a nice sort of much more bushy aspect anyway. So it's not the end of the world if that particular scion doesn't take. So yeah, all in all for me, a good deal of success with grafting, and using 2 different techniques. I'm definitely going to be exploring the micro grafting technique a little bit more, because for me, I find getting the angle and the accuracy of a splice joint, let me show you this one here again, let me take the bag off. I find the ability to get the accuracy of the angle and the length of a splice joint, I find that much easier to do, especially on a small scion, than trying to create a cleft graft. And to my mind, it produces just as much surface area contact between the cambium layers. So I'm not entirely sure why that doesn't get promoted more. There must be a reason for it, but certainly, you know, there are commercial growers out there that do these splice grafts, but for some reason the normal grafting method seems to be there are commercial growers out there that do these splice grafts, but the normal method seems to be more often than not to do a cleft graft. So I'm just going to pause the video very slightly. I'm going to go outside and just show you something on the outside. So we're outside now, and this is my in-ground avocado, which is really doing well. But as I said in previous videos, I want to create this, turn this into a slightly more bushy aspect. Now, I did try to graft a piece of London onto there, and it failed almost immediately. Really failed quickly, which is a shame. But I haven't given up. So what I've done is I've snipped the top leader off, but I've snipped it off to a point where it can create an extra couple of buds and a couple of shoots above or just below the cut point if it's needed, and then the 2 side branches below it, I have grafted in some of my flowering avocado from inside the greenhouse. Now these bits were just a bit too big to use the sleeve method. The biggest sleeves I've got are only 4.5 millimeters, and they didn't quite fit on here, so I've gone back to the tape method. They're not looking brilliant, but they're not looking terrible. You can see that this one here, this is the very tip of one of the very tip of one of the branches, the very sort of soft material. I don't know whether that'll take or not really. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. While I'm out here, I might as well just quickly show you the bacon. Yep, new growth is coming up lovely. That really nice colour, much nicer colour from the new growth on this tree than my indoor trees. Flowers are not opening yet. Obviously it's considerably cooler out here than it is in the greenhouse, so they're going to take a little bit longer to develop. I'll just put the video on pause. I'll just show you one other thing. So this is the potted avocado. Give you an idea of the size of the pot, mind you. Let's get an idea. That's my hand. I have quite big hands, so it's a decent sized pot. And this has flowered this year, but nearly all of the flowers have either fallen off or are in the process of falling off. Sorry, the light's not very good. Let's see if I can get around here. Yeah, can I get to this into focus? Yeah, you can see like the leaves, the flowers are all drying up, falling off. You know, this branch here is quite hard to see. This branch here was absolutely full of flowers. It's now just got one little flowering stem left on it. These branches, let's see, get these leaves out of the way. These branches through here were absolutely loaded with hundreds and hundreds of flowers. They've mostly all dropped off now. Not entirely sure why that is. It could be just because it's its very first year. Maybe next year they'll hold on a bit better. I mean, if you look, if I can get this down a little bit. Let's see if I can get into there. Can I get into there? Let's see if I can just hold these leaves a little bit. Okay, you can see that the flowers are, you know, they are opening. You know, they are trying to do their thing, but they're clearly not getting pollinated. Some of them are dropping off before they even open. That's fine. That's fine for the first year. I am very tempted, very tempted to put this avocado in ground in here in the greenhouse. It does take up quite a bit of space, but obviously if I put it in ground, it'll be a good, a good 12 inches lower than it is now, relative to the greenhouse roof, which would be a good thing, and it will give its roots an opportunity to expand. I'm pretty certain that's this tree has never had its soil refreshed and has been in this pot for at least 5, 6, I think definitely before Brexit, before COVID, probably 7 years, 6 or 7 years it's been in this pot. So the soil in here, even though I do top dress it with compost, it's probably not brilliant. Although having said that, the plant itself looks amazing. Leaves look in lovely condition. Doesn't look like it's particularly suffering from any nutrient deficiencies, so it's doing well. As is, I'll show you this, the Mexicola behind it, pushing out new growth now. And again, this is growing in a pot. Looks very healthy. Although having looked at, for those of you that have seen it, and I have, P10, Entwistle's recent video on his potted avocados, or his potted avocado versus his in-ground avocado, and the size differential, it does make me wonder how huge these trees would be if they was in ground. Anyway, that's enough for that. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye bye.